There's no way for me to save the stream key so I don't have to keep entering it in every time. That's not fun. Um, Let us do, I think we'll do Dynasty. Continue. Anyway, we are back again. Unable to connect. Unable to connect. That's not so good. Unable to connect. It looks like I'm streaming to two places that I wanted to stream to, but here we are. The other thing that I got to look at, actually, let me just set this up. The other thing that I want to look at is, I don't know. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't know. Oh, I need to connect. I am trying to. I haven't streamed in so long that it's like all brand new to me. So I am trying to get this all figured out. I am currently streaming or trying to stream to multiple platforms, and oh, let's see. Let me see here. Yeah, this is all a giant work in progress. So if you've got questions about starting an online business, if you've got questions about content creation, anything along those lines, throw them out there because I'd be happy to answer them. I've got to get back in the swing of streaming. I told myself that I would stream every day or go live every day, and today is I that was one of my New Year's resolutions, but today is only the second time that I'm doing it in 2026. So I've got to get better at it. It's all about it's all about consistency. We all know that what we need to do, and what's really interesting, and I'm just talking about myself right now. We know what we need to do. It's just a matter of being committed, doing it, and doing it consistently. Because all of this stuff comes down to consistency and persistence. That's what it is. If you can do the same thing longer than anybody else, you'll be successful. It's when we feel like it's not working. It's when we feel like we feel like it's too hard. We feel like it's taking too long. That's when we stop. But at the end of the day, it's literally about showing up and doing the same thing every day. And if you can do that same thing longer than anybody else, you can be successful online. You can be successful in whatever it is that you want to do. Showing up for yourself, doing it for you. I know that we have this mindset of that being selfish, but at the end of the day, we're doing this for us. We're doing this to provide for our family. But really, it all comes down to doing the same boring, tedious tasks every single day. Showing up for yourself when you don't feel like it, when you don't want to, when you're tired, when you are bored. Why can't I zoom through these here? I don't want these cutscenes. I haven't played this game in months, so who knows how this is going to go right off the bat. Ooh, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stars. 8 superstars. And I got 2. Anyway. Yeah, it really comes down to showing up for yourself. Showing up. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, so all of this stuff is really, really simple. Is it easy? No. Consistency, persistence is not easy. Doing something that you've never done before, like content creation, is not easy. But it's a skill that you can learn. Being a content creator is a skill. And if you dedicate yourself to learning a skill, just like you could learn computer programming. Will it be easy? No. But it's a skill. And if you dedicate to learning your skill, honing your craft, you can be successful on the internet. You can be successful in coding. You can be successful in starting an online business. You can be successful in content creation. But it's a skill. And one of the challenges that people run into, especially if you're brand new, is I would say the biggest challenge is comparing yourself to where you are, to where other people to where other people are further along ahead of you. A lot of people will say, "Hey, this person is." Ooh, I didn't like that play. They'll say, "Hey, look, this person has millions of subscribers, and my content is better than theirs." That might be true, but you haven't gone through the bumps and bruises of learning that skill where you can attain the following. And I'm even going to tell you, follower count doesn't matter. In 2026, follower count is a vanity metric that people use to prop themselves up with. And I say that as someone that has over 140,000 followers on YouTube. I probably have close to 200,000 followers across all of my platforms, and it doesn't mean a thing. The only thing that matters is how you can connect with an individual. And video content is the best because you can connect with people one-on-one in a mass gathering, mass market. They call it parasocial relationships, but at the end of the day, you're just connecting with people. You're just connecting with people based on their problems and their. Think about the people that you follow. You usually follow them because you identify with them in some way. You identify with the stories that they're telling. You identify with the pain points that they have, or you identify with where you want to be. They're currently where you want to be, and that's why you identify with them. And content creation, the people that are really good at content creation make it look easy, but they've spent a bunch of time learning it, honing their skill, going through the frustration of trying to be a content creator and failing. At the end of the day, this is all about how well you can deal with failure. Because in reality, if every video doesn't go viral, it's a failure. If your video only, quote unquote, gets 200 views, it's considered a failure by many. But what you have to understand is failure is part of the process. I like to compare content creation. I didn't mean to run out of bounds. I like to compare content creation to playing sports. And I think people that played sports in high school and even in college, they're better at content creation because they understand what it takes. They understand that when in order to be good at content creation, online business, you've got to fail. You've got to put in the work. You've got to practice. And what I tell my kids, because I coach basketball, I tell them that the games are reward for the practice that you put in. And so if you're not putting in practice, or if you're not going hard, you're half-assing it in practice, it's going to show up in the games. And getting back to my original thought, content creation's like playing a sport. You've got to put up thousands of reps before anybody will ever see it. You've got to shoot 500 jump shots. When you think about guys like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, they didn't just wake up one day and were really good basketball players. They started when they were 6 years old. You may not have seen them. You didn't see LeBron until he was 18, right? He didn't just show up when he was 18 and make a bunch of jump shots. He has been trying and failing and missing and making since he was 6 years old. And you've got to be comfortable with that. You've got to be comfortable with trying and failing in the shadows, in the dark, by yourself, making and missing in order to become an overnight success. Most people talk about overnight success. They've been doing it for 20 years. LeBron James was a phenom, quote unquote. He'd been playing basketball for 12 years. Overnight success, 12 years in the making. And you can be that overnight success as long as you show up for yourself every single day and you practice and you hone your skills, you learn new skills, you take risks, you commit to getting better. You get out of your own way. You don't get frustrated. frustrations are part of the process, but if you can, you've got to learn to get over your frustration so that you can achieve your goal, which is probably monetizing your content. That's what a lot of this comes down to in reality. Oh, he's going to catch that. That's what a lot of this comes down to in reality. All of this is everything that you see and hear is a skill that you can learn, that you can hone, that you can develop. Are you going to give yourself grace? Are you going to be patient enough with yourself to learn that skill? Are you going most people struggle because they're comparing where they are to where other people have been. Don't compare your step one. Oh, that's intercepted. Don't compare your step one to someone else's step 7, because you don't know the road that they traveled. Right? A lot of people out there will say, that's not a good pass either. A lot of people will want to be where other people are. They want to have 1 million followers, but you don't know what that person did to get to that 1 million follower mark. You don't know how many times that person tried and failed before they were able to get those followers. And that's really important to understand. But content creation is really simple. You simply identify an area that you want to help. People call it a niche. Just identify a group of people, a select small group of people that you can help. And usually what you should do is you should look at who you were 5 years ago, within the last 5 years. What problems did you solve for yourself within the last 5 years? How have you helped yourself? What challenges did you overcome in order to get to where you are today? Because chances are, the problems that you solve for yourself, there's somebody right now, there's multiple somebodies, probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of somebodies that are going through that exact same problem. And so you can use your knowledge, skills, and experience to help that person or people solve that problem. That's really important. Really, really important. And so I think the mistake a lot of people make is they try and be like somebody else. Hey, I see this person. He's got millions of followers. I should be like that person. No, don't be like that person. You want to use your own knowledge, skills, and experience to help differentiate yourself from everybody else. We're all unique little snowflakes, but at the end of the day, we all have the same challenges, right? We all have the same core, because it's human nature. We all have the same core situations, and that's really important to understand if you want to be successful. So don't try and be like other people. Use your personal stories to differentiate yourself from other people. Okay, great. So once you've identified an area of people that you want to help, so who you were within the last 5 years, I'll give you a few examples. We have twins. We actually had 3 kids under 3 at one point. I was a software developer. I've been doing affiliate marketing for like 10 years. I've been in online business for 10 years. My wife is a nurse practitioner. Recently had to handle, and that was about a year ago, where I had to handle burying my mom. And so these are all things that I've gone through. Now I can help other people go through those same things. If you've gotten married recently, if you've gotten married recently, if you've gotten divorced recently, if you've had kids, all of these are things that someone is currently going through that you can help them solve that problem. Now, remember, problems can be both good and bad, okay? Problems, for example, getting married is a good problem, but it's a problem nonetheless. Having kids is a problem. It's a good problem, but it's a problem nonetheless. And so, again, look at who you were over the last 5 years, and then start thinking of the questions that your audience is asking. And there's a bunch of ways to do it. You can reflect back to the questions that you had. You can use AI to help find these questions. You can go to Google, and you can start Googling questions and then scroll down and look at what people also ask. You can, if you guys have questions, throw them out there. Be happy to answer them. You can go to a website. I don't know if it's still around. The website was called Answer the Public. There's another one called Answer Socrates. I don't know if that one's still around, but you simply type in your topic or whatever it is that you want to be known for, and it's going to have a bunch of questions and comparisons that people are asking and making when it comes to your niche. So you could just start off by going to Google and type in, like, what's the process of getting married? And then you can also then go to scroll down where it says people also ask and look at those questions. And then you can create content there. And I actually made a video just a couple minutes ago where you can take one of those questions from people also ask and turn it into 3 video ideas. For example, you can take one and use a statistic. So if a question is like, what is the average divorce rate? You can turn that into a statistic. Most people believe that the average divorce rate is 50%, but it's actually much higher than that, right? That's a statistic. Another option is you can do kind of like a antagonizing statement, a rhetorical statement. You could say like, if you're doing these things, you are headed for divorce court, right? And so people that might feel like their marriage is rocky or they're afraid that they are headed to divorce court, they're going to listen. And then one's going to be a question. Another option would be a question. Or you can do like tips. Here are 3 signs that your marriage is in trouble. Those are very simple content ideas. And what's really cool is that you can have different hooks. So the 3 things that I just gave you are what's called hooks. But then your story could be the exact same. And then your offer, call to action. And when I say story, it's basically the meat of your meat of your video, the part of your video where you're actually asking questions or adding value. That can all be the same. We'll do that one. And then you have what's called a call to action. That is inviting the target audience to take the next step. Guys, let me know if you have any. Let me know if this is making sense. Is what you're seeing and hearing making sense? If it's not making sense, let me know, and I'll back up, and I'll try and explain it in a different way. But this is all basically, and one of the things that I think most people, and I was going to make a video about this, but what most people don't understand, they don't understand what marketing is. Most people think that marketing is trying to trick people or get people to buy something that they might not necessarily want or need. Marketing is making people aware that there is a solution to their problem. And when you understand it, when you approach it from that way, making people aware that there is a solution for the problem that they currently have, you're no longer selling. And I said this in a video. People love to buy stuff. Trillions of dollars are spent every single day across the world. People don't want to be sold to. That's why a lot of people struggle with TikTok Shop, because you're sitting there trying to sell them stuff. When you make them aware that there's a solution, there's a good solution to the problem that they're going through, it lets their guard down and they're much more receptive. Think about it like this. If I walk up to you and say, here, I've got, buy this HDMI cord. I got an HDMI cord on my desk. So I'm like, buy this HDMI cord. You're going to be like, you're going to say, no, I don't want to buy an HDMI cord. But if I walked up to you and I said, hey, what if I told you that there was a way to get better picture quality, 4K picture quality, so that you can get the best blacks and you can watch your sports, you watch your football games without any issue. There's no blurriness. It'll eliminate or erase any of the screen blur, motion blur. You'll be able to see 4 billion colors, and it's just this cord. It's a cord that will help you solve your problem of dealing with watching sports. Most likely, I didn't do a good job of selling it, but most likely people will be like, yeah, I want to be able to watch sports better. I want to, I want a clearer picture. That's the difference. Marketing is making people aware, and I think another challenge that people run into is they don't want to be salesy. They're afraid of selling because they don't want to come off as being a salesperson. And the best way to get around that is to approach it like you're making people aware of of a solution for them. Anyway, where was that? So you have a niche, you have the questions that people are asking. Next, and I think most important, is think about monetization. How are you going to monetize your content? Because nobody should be making content for free. All of these platforms are making money off of you, right? They're making money off of your time, off of your likeness, off of your videos, and you should be making money too. And I don't believe in the TikTok shop. I don't believe in the YouTube partner program because they don't pay you what you're worth. What I believe in, that's picked off. What I believe in is having your own systems, having your own products and services that you can sell on your own, so that you're no longer beholden. You're no longer beholden to these platforms. Because if you are relying on the TikTok shop or the YouTube partner program, you've got to keep making content to stay in the algorithm. You got to jump on trends. You got to do a whole bunch of stuff that you might feel a little slimy about. But if you create content and then you lead people to a digital product that you're selling, you can make more money in the short term and in the long term, because most of these platforms work off of what's called an RPM, a revenue per 1,000. That's the amount of money that you'll get paid per 1,000 views. And that number can be as low as 6 cents for like YouTube Shorts. I've had videos where the RPM is over $100. So I would need to have 1,000 views to make $100. But if you're selling your own digital product, you can make much more money in the short term and in the long term, because let's say you're selling a $17 digital product, you can sell them more stuff on the back end and make even more money off of one customer. It's like it's if you've ever seen The Office, Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute realize that Ryan Howard is going to business school, and Michael Scott says, "Okay, Ryan, ask me business questions." And the first question he asked him, he said, "Is it cheaper to make money? Is it cheaper to sell to returning customers or find new customers?" And Michael Scott, who has no idea about business, says it's easier and cheaper to keep finding new customers. But in reality, it's better, cheaper, easier to make more money off of returning customers. And so if you're selling your own digital products, you can keep selling to your audience. You can keep selling to the people that are on your mailing list, and in effect make more money over a longer term. You don't have to keep chasing views at the end of the day. So getting back to digital products, I think that you should create digital products. You should have what's called a value ladder. You should have an entry-level digital product that you sell for like $17. That's something that you can create quickly. It's a DIY. It's something that that your audience can try and solve their problem on their own, because that's usually the first step. People will try and solve it on their own. So you create a DIY digital product like a planner, cheat sheet, template, something like that. The next level can be some sort of like mini course or workshop. But really the difference is the higher you go, the more you go up, the more intimate the help. For example, the low ticket entry level digital product, you're going to sell it for $17, and there's almost no help whatsoever. People are going to try and figure it out on their own. However, at the top of the value ladder, you have a either like a mastermind, one-on-one coaching, or you do it for them. Each level, obviously, the price will go up. Any questions? Is this making sense? I'm trying to monitor. I am currently live on YouTube. I don't know if I ever connected to Facebook. I'm also live on TikTok on a couple different screens. So I'm trying to make sure that I get any questions if they pop up. If you got questions, definitely throw them out there because I would be happy to answer them. And the other reason why I'm not a huge fan of getting paid by the platforms is that it can vary. It'll vary by year. It'll vary by niche. It'll vary by geography or demographics. For example, on YouTube, the people in India are not deemed as valuable as the people in the United States by marketers. I should say by marketers. Marketers aren't willing to pay. Marketers are willing to pay a premium to get in front of the United States audience, but not so much for the Indian audience. When in reality, people in India and Bangladesh and all over, they've got money too. And so, some of those people will buy something from you. That's why I think everybody should have their own systems in place. They should have their own products and services. I've never run this tight end screen before. We'll try it. We'll see how this works. Anyway, let me know if you guys have any questions. He is super slow. Tight end screen didn't work out too bad. But again, this is something anybody can do. You just have to be patient with yourself to go out and learn it and apply it, implement. Because it's one thing to go out there and learn. A mistake that a lot of people make is they just go out there and they just collect knowledge, but they never implement it. And I guarantee you'll learn more by implementing what you learn than trying to go out there and learn more. That might sound counterintuitive, but you will learn more from implementation than you will from collecting knowledge. Because at the end of the day, the knowledge is useless if you're not implementing it in some way. If you're not applying what you're learning, the knowledge that you learn is useless. I think that's another mistake that a lot of people make, is they get caught up in trying to know everything and trying to learn everything. In reality, you don't need to learn and know everything. You just need to learn and know the first step. And you just need to learn as you run into hurdles, as you run into roadblocks. I think that's a big issue that a lot of people run into is trying to learn everything, trying to know everything, trying to know the entire process. It's like people will apply for an LLC before creating a piece of content. You don't need an LLC. The other thing people do, other mistake that people make is, what was I going to say? Another mistake that people make, I forgot. Oh, another mistake that people make is they spend time worrying about things that don't matter. In the very beginning, nobody cares about your logo. Your logo isn't going to be the difference between 5 buyers and 5 million buyers. Other people will waste time on things that don't generate revenue. In the very beginning, you want to try and generate revenue as quickly as possible. And when you generate revenue, you're validating your validating your idea. That's what you want. You want to validate your idea by generating revenue as quickly as possible. Don't worry about your color scheme. Don't worry about your logo. Don't worry about any of that unnecessary stuff. No one's ever said, I'm not buying nothing from this guy because I didn't like his logo. Right? Work on things that matter. Revenue generating skills. Content creations are revenue generating skill. Copywriting is a revenue generating skill. Um, Learning how to use AI is now a revenue generating skill. Because if you don't know how to use AI, you're going to be behind. Let's see. It says, "Good evening, Alston. I'm just joining the live. Is the video game has something to do with today's lesson, or are you just playing while speaking?" Just playing while I'm speaking. Just sharing my knowledge and playing college football. Multiple tasking. We will run it. You're welcome. If you've got questions about something, feel free to throw it out there and I'll get it answered. But yeah, I would say that I've been doing this for 10 years, but I I know enough about what I'm talking about where I can have a general conversation while doing something that I enjoy, like playing video games. But yeah. Any other questions for me? One really cool thing that I don't think anybody talks about, or not enough people talk about, is stacking revenue streams. I think that's a really cool opportunity. And what I mean by that is, to this point, I've talked about creating and selling a digital product. Then what you can do inside of your digital product is you can add in affiliate products that are relevant and make sense to your digital product. So, for example, let's say you're in the wedding niche. You sell like a planner, right? You sell a 6-month wedding planner for $17. Then what you want to do is you want to think about all of the different things that someone that is newly getting married, what are some of the things that they need? They might need a guest book. You could link out to a guest book. They might need a tuxedo or wedding dress. You can link out to like the knot. You can, if they're doing like a destination wedding, you could find different travel agents that have an affiliate program, or you could create one with them. That's a simple way to start stacking commissions or start stacking revenue streams without having to do a bunch of extra work. Really simple. So what I would do if I were you, if I were anybody, and I were just getting started, I would make a list of 5 or 10 different digital products that you can create in a weekend for your target audience and your niche. Hi, how's it going on TikTok? Then I would write down 5 or 10 different affiliate programs that would also go well with your niche. So that way you can put your affiliate links inside of your digital product, and it's a simple way to add in additional revenue streams. You notice that a lot if you've ever bought a course on content creation. People will recommend different cameras. I have a question for you. Sure, what's the question? They will throw in like they'll recommend cameras and lighting and all that stuff. You should definitely do that too. Is free cash real? I would stay away from it because it's not worth your time. You see, people are so short-sighted where they'll chase after the free cash when they don't realize that it takes longer to do the free cash stuff than it would to build out actual content. Free cash is active income. You're only making money when you're actively doing it. However, if you create content or you build systems or whatever, you have the opportunity to monetize 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I want to maximize my time. And the best way to maximize my time is to create content and put systems in place that will allow me to make money while I'm doing other things. Sometimes someone asks me, why do I make so much content? And I look at it like this. Every video out there has the opportunity to build a connection to build a relationship, and to sell a digital product. Why do I make 5 YouTube videos a week? Because it has an opportunity to build a connection with somebody. It has an opportunity to sell a digital product. The video can be shared by somebody else. I have literally thousands of mini-me's out there working on my behalf while I'm doing other things. Thousands of people every single day watch my videos while I'm doing things like coaching my son's basketball teams, while I'm taking my daughter to gymnastics, while I'm cooking dinner. And that's how I look at it. I look at it like having thousands of Alstons out there working on my behalf, thousands of workers working for me while I'm doing something else. And I think that's how you should approach it too. Have a bunch of little workers working on your behalf, building connections, building relationships, selling products and services, so that you have the freedom to do what you want to do and not what you have to do. Let me know if that makes sense. You're short. Yeah. So I commented on that before. The reason is I use a software called Opus Pro that takes my long form videos and cuts it up automatically, and they get scheduled automatically. And for whatever reason, a couple of them will just be in a different language. No idea why. And so when I catch them, I delete them. But yeah, Opus Pro sometimes just puts my videos in a different language. Now my long forms are all obviously in English. It's a weird glitch. I don't know why it does that. I don't know how to fix it. But it just randomly changes language. And I won't know. So and again, this goes into having a bunch of mini-me's doing the work for me. Ooh, I'm frozen. Why am I frozen here? Am I still I'm still streaming. Why am I frozen? I don't know what to do here. I'm trying to stream on a bunch of different platforms. Unable to connect, streaming. And it says that I'm frozen. I don't know why. Anyway, this game is almost over. I don't know why it's frozen and how to fix it. Anyway, continuing on. One of the things I like to tell people is we make time for the things that we want. Right? You want to be a content creator, but you feel like you don't have time. In reality, you've got plenty of time. That should be picked off. It's how you decide to manage the time that you have. But we make time for the things that we want. If you want to be a content creator, you'll make time for it. If you want to make excuses and say that you don't have time, then you won't be a successful content creator. I like to give a few examples. When I first got started, there wasn't TikTok. And so all of the videos were long form. There was no such thing as short form media. And so what I had to do, we had just had twins. What I had to do is I had to learn how to create content. I had to learn all of these different skills while after putting the kids to bed. So I would work from 8 p.m. to midnight trying to learn and apply these skills. Eventually, what I started doing is I started making videos on my drive home. Some of my earliest YouTube videos, I had my phone propped up and I would talk while I drove. Eventually, I started making videos on my lunch break. Or I started writing blog posts on my lunch break. Oftentimes, what you could do is you can make content while your son or daughter is at practice. So often I see people just aimlessly doom scrolling on social media. Instead of doom scrolling, what you can do is you can sit in your car and make a few videos. Make videos during your lunch break. Make videos during your 15-minute smoke break. Don't talk to Jan from accounting. Make your videos, because that's what's most important. If you really want to if you really want to escape your situation, the best way to do it is through creating content. It's not by trying to apply for a promotion, because with a promotion it's still finite, right? Your growth is still finite. However, if you learn to create content, your growth can be exponential, which means unlimited. Because, I should have hit R1. What most people don't realize is when you create content. So the best way I explained it was to my chiropractor. My chiropractor obviously has a a practice here in where I live. His total addressable market is probably maybe 200,000 to 500,000 people. That's the furthest he can grow if he just works offline. But if he took everything that he knew and shared it online, his total addressable market is 4 billion people. Do you think it's easier to have exponential growth with 500,000 people or 4 billion people? Now, obviously, not all 4 billion, not all 4 billion people need chiropractic service, but what can happen, and what has happened to me, is someone will see your video and then they'll share it with somebody that is in pain. They'll share it with someone that is hurting. Okay? So, again, in my opinion, catch the ball. In my opinion, the best way to have exponential growth, unlimited growth, is to create content, whether that's free or paid. Paid content is like running Facebook, YouTube, Instagram ads, meta ads. Or organic content, so creating content for free using social media and YouTube as the platforms. How much time's left? It's only the third quarter. All right, so I'm not sure why I am frozen over on. I'm not sure why I'm frozen over on